Before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to be the first to experience these bone-chilling stories.
I woke up in darkness, disoriented and filled with a sense of dread. The room was cold and sterile, devoid of any familiar sights or sounds. Panic surged through my veins as I realized I was not in my own bed. I tried to move, but my limbs felt heavy, as if weighed down by an invisible force. Fear gripped me as I realized I was not alone. Alien beings with elongated limbs and bulbous heads surrounded me. Their eyes were large and unblinking, and their skin had a sickly pallor. I struggled to scream, but no sound escaped my lips. The aliens communicated through telepathy, their voices echoing in my mind like a haunting melody. They probed my thoughts, invading my memories and sifting through my deepest fears. I felt violated, as if my very essence was being dissected and analyzed. Images of loved ones flashed before me, distorted and twisted into grotesque versions of themselves. I begged them to stop, but my pleas fell on deaf ears. Time lost all meaning in that bleak, alien environment. The days blurred together and my sense of self began to deteriorate. The aliens subjected me to strange experiments, probing and prodding my body with cold, metallic instruments. They seemed fascinated by the intricacies of human physiology, as if they were conducting some perverse form of scientific research. During my captivity, I witnessed horrors beyond comprehension. I saw other abductees, their bodies mutilated and contorted like grotesque art pieces in an otherworldly gallery. The aliens showed no mercy, their actions devoid of empathy or remorse. I was nothing more than a specimen to them, an object to be studied and manipulated. As the days turned into weeks, a profound sense of hopelessness settled over me. I began to question whether I would ever escape this nightmare. But then, a flicker of defiance ignited within me. I refused to succumb to despair. I would fight even if it seemed futile. I observed the aliens closely, searching for weaknesses or patterns in their behavior. Gradually, I discovered that they were vulnerable to intense light and high-frequency sound. It was my chance, my glimmer of hope in the darkness. With sheer determination, I devised a plan. I managed to find a room filled with strange devices and gadgets. Among them was a small device emitting a blinding light and a high-pitched sound. I seized the opportunity, grabbing the device and activating it. The room erupted in chaos as the aliens recoiled in pain, their sensitive senses overwhelmed by the light and sound. I fought my way through the disoriented creatures, making a desperate dash towards an exit I had spotted earlier. My heart raced, my body fueled by adrenaline and the primal instinct to survive. Finally, I burst through the door, stumbling into the open air. The sky was a vast expanse of stars, a reminder of the infinite unknown that lay beyond our planet. I collapsed to the ground, gasping for air, grateful for my newfound freedom. As I lay there, the reality of what I had endured settled upon me. The scars, both physical and emotional, would forever bear witness to my harrowing encounter. I knew that most would dismiss my story as a mere fabrication, a product of an overactive imagination. But I knew the truth. I had come face to face with the incomprehensible, with beings from worlds beyond our own. To this day, I am haunted by the memories of that abduction. The fear lingers, a constant reminder of the fragility of our existence and the boundless mysteries that lie in the cosmos. I share my story not to be believed, but to serve as a cautionary tale. We are not alone, and there are forces beyond our comprehension that may one day seek to unravel the very fabric of our reality.
It happened on a moonlit night, the kind that fills the heart with trepidation and awakens primal fears. Shadows danced and flickered as the wind whispered secrets through the gnarled branches of the old oak tree outside my bedroom window. I had always been drawn to the mysteries of the universe, but little did I know that this night would become a haunting tale etched into the depths of my soul. Sleep eluded me that fateful night, as if my subconscious sensed the impending doom. A strange humming sound permeated the air, growing louder and more persistent with each passing minute. I felt an eerie presence in the room, a chilling sensation that crawled up my spine. Paralyzed by fear, I could do nothing but watch in terror as an otherworldly light flooded my room, casting grotesque silhouettes on the walls. A blinding beam of light enveloped me, rendering me immobile. Time seemed to stand still as I was lifted off the ground, my body weightless and suspended in the void. Panic gripped every fiber of my being, but I was powerless against this force beyond comprehension. The light receded, revealing a vessel of unfathomable design. Its metallic exterior shimmered with an otherworldly glow, and I was pulled inside with an unsettling force. The cold, sterile interior contrasted sharply with the warmth and familiarity of my earthly home. An unsettling silence filled the air, broken only by the sound of my own frantic breaths. Alien figures emerged from the shadows, their forms distorted and surreal. They moved with an unnerving fluidity, their elongated limbs bending and flexing in ways that defied human anatomy. Their eyes, devoid of emotion or compassion, seemed to pierce through my very soul. A cacophony of alien sounds filled the chamber, an incomprehensible language that echoed inside my head. I felt an overwhelming sense of intrusion, as if these beings were probing the depths of my mind, unraveling my deepest fears and desires. It was as though they were extracting something intangible, something beyond my comprehension. Paradoxically, amidst the horror, a strange sense of curiosity began to take hold of me. I yearned to understand their motives, their purpose in abducting innocent beings like myself. What truths lay hidden beneath their cold, metallic exteriors? What secrets did they hold about the universe and our place within it? But these thoughts were swiftly shattered as a searing pain coursed through my body. The aliens subjected me to unspeakable experiments, probing and manipulating every aspect of my being. Their actions transcended the boundaries of human understanding, violating the very essence of my existence. I was reduced to a mere specimen, a plaything in their cosmic game. Days blended into nights, the passage of time becoming a blurred haze of terror and torment. The memories of my life on Earth started to fade, replaced by a haunting emptiness that consumed me from within. Was this their intention? To erase the essence of humanity, to leave us as nothing but hollow shells? One night, as I lay imprisoned in the confines of their vessel, a glimmer of hope flickered within me. A dormant strength surged through my veins, ignited by a primal survival instinct. With every ounce of willpower, I fought against the invisible restraints that held me captive. The alien beings, momentarily caught off guard by my resistance, faltered, and I seized the opportunity. Barely conscious of my actions, I fled through the labyrinthine corridors of the ship, guided by an instinctual knowledge of its layout. I stumbled upon a small, unguarded craft, its controls alien yet strangely familiar. Without a second thought, I launched myself into the vast expanse of space, leaving the vessel of nightmares behind. As Earth's gentle embrace welcomed me back, I realized that I had returned forever changed. The scars of that harrowing experience would forever mar my soul, a reminder of the horrors that lurked beyond our understanding. I became a harbinger of the unexplainable, a witness to the terrors that lie beyond the boundaries of our mundane existence. And so, I share my story with the world, hoping to shed light on the darkness that dwells among the stars. For in the vast expanse of the universe, there are realms that defy explanation, and horrors that await those who dare to venture too far. Beware, for the unknown lurks just beyond our reach, ready to ensnare the unsuspecting and forever alter their perception of reality. Darkness, all-consuming darkness. That's the first thing I remember. One moment I was walking down the familiar streets of my hometown, and the next, I was enveloped in a pitch-black void. Panic set in and my heart pounded like a war drum in my chest. What had happened? Where was I? Suddenly, a blinding light pierced through the darkness, causing me to shield my eyes. As my vision adjusted, I found myself in a cold metallic room. The walls were smooth and featureless, like they were made from a single piece of material. The air felt sterile, and there was a distinct hum, a low-frequency vibration that sent shivers down my spine. Confusion and fear mingled within me as I tried to make sense of my surroundings. I noticed restraints on my wrists and ankles, restraining me to a cold metal table. Panic surged through my veins as I desperately struggled against the restraints, but they held firm. It was then that I realized I wasn't alone. Silhouettes moved around the room, their forms shifting and contorting in the dim light. My heart skipped a beat as I realized they were not human. These were the aliens, the beings that had taken me against my will. Their elongated limbs and inhuman proportions sent waves of terror crashing over me. They approached me with slow, deliberate movements, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly intelligence. Their touch was cold, like ice on my skin, as they began their examination. Their probing hands explored every inch of my body, their touch both clinical and invasive. I screamed in agony, but my voice echoed in the empty room, falling on deaf ears. Time lost all meaning as they conducted their experiments. I felt like a lab rat, subjected to their whims and desires. They extracted samples, piercing my flesh with sharp instruments that left trails of blood in their wake. The pain was unbearable, but they seemed indifferent to my suffering. As the days turned into an unending nightmare, I began to question my sanity. Was this all just a cruel hallucination, a product of my imagination? But the pain was too real, the terror too vivid. There was no escape from this waking nightmare. But then, something changed. A flicker of hope emerged amidst the despair. I noticed a pattern in the aliens' routine, a momentary lapse in their vigilance. It was a small window of opportunity, but I had to seize it. With every ounce of strength I could muster, I broke free from the restraints that held me captive. Adrenaline surged through my veins as I sprinted through the metallic corridors, desperate to find a way out. The halls seemed endless, an intricate labyrinth designed to confound and disorient. But I refused to give in to despair. I stumbled upon a room that appeared different from the others. It was filled with an array of bizarre machines and equipment, blinking lights and unfamiliar symbols. In the center of the room stood a large portal, a gateway back to the world I had been torn from. Without hesitation, I stepped through the portal, feeling a surge of energy envelop me. When I emerged on the other side, I found myself back in my hometown, standing on the same street I had been taken from. The memories of my abduction remained etched in my mind, a haunting reminder of the horrors I had endured. Since that fateful day, I have tried to make sense of what happened to me. Were the aliens simply conducting experiments out of curiosity, or did they have a more sinister purpose? I may never know the answers, but the scars they left behind serve as a chilling reminder that we are not alone in the universe. Now, whenever I gaze up at the night sky, I can't help but wonder if those otherworldly beings are watching, waiting for the next opportunity to abduct unsuspecting victims. The unknown looms overhead, and the fear of the unimaginable still haunts me.